Combating poverty. Humanists engage in efforts to alleviate poverty by supporting social welfare programs, advocating for fair economic policies, and addressing the root causes of poverty. A key component of guaranteeing a bright future for all communities is eradicating poverty. Humanists are aware of this and confront the issue of poverty head-on. They engage in a variety of activities to achieve this goal, such as supporting social welfare programs and promoting just economic policies. Humanists consider addressing the fundamental causes of poverty to be a crucial strategy for long-term poverty alleviation. Welcome to my channel. Let's discover some of the respectful and humanistic situations around the world. If this is the information that you were really searching for, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and be till the end of this video. In these circumstances, some people and organizations strive to build a more equal society for all. In order to agree on a new plan of action to combat global poverty, more than 150 world leaders are getting ready to attend the UN Sustainable Development Summits. However, a recent study issues a dire warning that by 2030, more than half of the world's impoverished would be made up of African youngsters who are being left behind. The report's authors are critical of both African countries and the international community for neglecting to appropriately address the issue, as Henry Ridgwell reports from London. The first of the United Nations' 17 Sustainable Development Objectives is to end extreme poverty by 2030. According to the most recent report from Save the Children and the Overseas Development Institute, the world will fall well short of that goal. It renders a devastating verdict on international attempts to eradicate extreme poverty among African youngsters. According to some estimates, by 2030, children in Africa would be responsible for almost 55% of all cases of extreme poverty worldwide. The authors of the research claim that African children are falling increasingly and further ahead, and project that by the year 2020, 87 million African children would be born into poverty annually. Around 40% of Africans are still thought to subsist on less than $1.90 per day. In addition to criticizing African countries for failing to create consistent policies, the report warns that the IMF, World Bank, and other donors are not doing enough to address the problem. It is crucial that these kids have access to the essential educational systems, healthcare, and nutrition programs they require to rise above poverty. According to the report, the globe will fall far short of other equitable growth goals in the areas of education, health, and gender equality if reducing poverty targets aren't accomplished. This video is to show how kids suffer from hunger and how they are thankful for the people that help them with food. Hope starts with food for a hungry child. As you can see, there are millions of children starving in hunger. They really expect some food to make their life more comfortable and beautiful. They pray to there for food and a comfortable life. This is time for all of us to help them in the way we could. Millions of kids worldwide are impacted by the problem of childhood hunger. For these children, hope begins with food, since a meal may give them comfort and security in a chaotic world. Sadly, there are many children that lack nourishment because of the enormous need. To see the number of people who have the desire to reach out and assist those in need, though, is heartening. Children who are hungry lose all of their goals and dreams or feel helpless. Nevertheless, there is still hope for these kids because there are groups that can provide them with some food. This video is a speech by Amir Mahmoud Abdullah, the executive director of the World Food Program, explaining to the agenda what the 3 C's are that are driving one of the biggest issues on the planet. It is obvious that the pandemic has worsened the situation. When we consider the 3 C's and how many people are on the verge of famine, conflict comes to mind as the largest and, in my opinion, the most significant factor. If you look around the world, the majority of the places where people are in danger of migrating are in regions where violence follows conflict closely behind it. In fact, the climate can even be the primary cause of some of these conflicts. As a result, the 3 C's conflict, climatic disaster, as well as COVID force people into severe poverty and endangering, putting their lives in danger, and in our situation, bringing almost 40 million people to the verge of hunger is what we're most concerned about. This was his explanation of the main causes of poverty that spreads around the world. This video explains the living standard of communities living in Ethiopia, Africa. Traveling to communities all over the world is an emotional whirlwind. To reach the most remote areas of the globe, where an organization undergoes tough treks over winding, dusty roads. As they establish connections with the local populations, they hear their touching experiences and observe the challenges they confront every day. They also have found that access to fundamental necessities like safe drinking water, wholesome food, and education is often an impossible goal for many people around the world, as we hear their cries and feel their suffering. So remember, we all should pose as a tremendous passion to change the world and give others hope. As you can see in the video, they don't possess any necessary goods at their houses, like chairs to sit on, tables to dine in, beds to sleep, or at least a well-made kitchen to cook, or even a proper roof to stay under the rain or sun. These people face a tremendous amount of hardship in these tough situations. Always take your best effort to help people in need and share whatever you have with the less fortunate so that this world will be a beautiful place for everyone. It might be difficult for many families to put nutritious meals on the table. A non-profit group, however, is committed to providing assistance by repackaging packed and cooked food that has been given and delivering it to families, schools, and other social organizations. Nourish Now, which began as a one-man enterprise, has expanded into a sizable organization that recovers more than 20,000 kilograms of food each month to feed 700 households. It is estimated that roughly 1.3 billion tons of foodstuffs are wasted annually throughout the world. In 2011, Brett Myers founded Nourish Now as a result of that. This charitable group in Rockville, Maryland, collects and gives food to needy families. According to Brett, they now are a food recovery-based food bank that recovers food from restaurants, catering companies, grocery stores, hotels, farms, and more, and then donates that food directly to families in need and kids in need. They now receive food donations from 160 corporations and organizations, staff, as well as volunteers. The donations are packaged and given out to about 35 families each day. Each participant is eligible to receive food once every 30 days. The supplies can sustain a family for 5 days. In this group, the process has been discussed by numerous members. Last but not least, this video explains how an organization has taken steps to distribute some prepared food for the children who live in riads with no homes. Helping others is more vital than ever in the modern society. Despite the fact that it might appear impossible, changing someone's life is possible with a little bit of work. Every action has the potential to have a beneficial effect, whether it is helping out at a neighborhood shelter or just listening to a friend who needs it. With that in mind, it's time for all of us to get involved and do something to improve the world. It is essential to keep in mind that any good deed, no matter how great or tiny, has the power to change the world. This brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for being to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you think about this video below in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.